Station log, stardate 47272.8. Acting Outpost Commander Dino Drell. 36 hours ago, the station commander, Dr. Zinneman, was severely injured in one of the ion storms that have begun ravaging the planet for the past week. As senior officer at the outpost, I have taken command in her incapacitation. Most of the base personnel have become violent and paranoid. They seem to have lost the ability to speak, but in reading their thoughts, it appears that they've been reduced to primitive impulses. Fear, anger, and hunger are their driving thoughts. Even their physical appearance seems to have morphed into a more primitive form. I've barricaded myself along with two other scientists, Dr. Heidi Ship and Dr. Jasper Mandel, who seem to be unaffected in one of the storage rooms in the lower level of the base. Dr. Mandel was gravely wounded by one of the deranged crew, but has been stabilized the best we can with limited supplies. We only hope the emergency beacon wasn't destroyed. Dr. Ship and I have begun to theorize as to the cause of these changes.
Dano, as you're in the midst of your log, you suddenly hear a loud metallic on metallic noise against the door leading into this chamber. The door of this chamber has a vaguely submarine kind of like door. It's got a big rotating hatch. You hear this loud clank against it, and then again another clank. You see the handle of it begin to rotate. What are you gonna do?
I want to see if I can sense any thoughts on the other side of the door.
It's what you've been feeling for a while now, which is those same primitive impulses of anger and hunger. There's definitely a very angry person behind that door.
I'm going to start singing a very calming song.
Okay. And as you do, the frequency of the banging actually increases. And you see the handle begin to shift more and more.
I back up and stand at the ready.
Okay. And just as the frequency is getting louder and louder and louder, and right as you think the door is going to come open, silence. And you're left there in this storage room filled with boxes of rations and whatever else they had for food here on the station, with Dr. Ship and Dr. Mandel wondering what's next and hoping that someone will be here to help soon. And yeah, so let's see what happens next. And we suddenly shift view back to our crew that had just landed on Xerxes IV, who had begun their journey towards the outpost on foot. And above them, on a kind of a rock face, they see several humanoids in tattered Starfleet-looking uniforms that a science team might wear. And these creatures look poised to strike.
Number 1, phasers on stun, everyone.
And you guys have the initiative here to take whatever action you'd like to do.
Sir, do you want me to shoot?
Fire away. Settings on stun.
Acknowledge, Captain. I will take a shot at whoever's the most, taking a very quick look at everything. I will...
Let's say one of them seems to be holding a phaser, but it doesn't necessarily look like he knows how to use it.
Okay.
Hey, how many are there, real quick?
There are 6 of them, I believe. No, 4 of them, I'm sorry. 3 of them are carrying rocks and like what looks like it could just be like a giant wrench.
Okay.
Probably picked up. And one of them is holding a phaser.
I've got quick to action, but that's not. So it would go me, you, someone, you, someone, you.
Yep.
Can I use quick to action to make myself and a crewmate go before you do? Just to get 2 shots before you do?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Okay, I'm going to use that talent then. And I'm going to take my shot at the one with a phaser.
All right, so that is a control and security. So first you have to roll a control and security to see if you hit. It's a difficulty 2. You easily hit. It's a nice clean shot. You score a lot of hits on this guy. And he just immediately falls to the ground with that precise shot. You landed right square in the middle of his chest, dropping the phaser onto the ground. And another one of you can go with Commander Nora's action sheet, her talent.
Go ahead, Ensign.
Okay. I think that the ensign probably hasn't been in a situation like this before, so I want to duck and kind of hide behind something and maybe reach around and shoot whatever's closest without really taking time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be kind of wild and...
Yeah. So you kind of duck behind a nearby tree and fire away.
Okay, and this is...
Control security.
Control and security.
Difficulty 2. Oh, that's your challenge dice.
Oops.
There you go.
Ooh.
So you take aim, and you fire, but you kind of flinch at the last second, and you miss one of them at the top. One of them on the top jumps down off the rock and charges actually at the captain. And he's going to attempt to smack you in the face with a rock.
All right. Do I roll something back, or does he just roll?
So this is going to be any melee attack in this game is always a contested roll.
Okay.
So it's going to be your daring and security versus my daring and security.
Oh, this is not good. I'm a science nerd.
So...
Oh.
But you managed to kind of parry him off at the right time.
I'd like to do the Star Trek like gut punch and then thread my fingers together and hit him over the back.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
Attack Epsilon, I think that's called.
So go ahead and an unarmed attack is it's just going to be your security plus 1 challenge dice.
Okay, so I rolled challenge dice, so it's going to be security plus 1, so 4 for me.
Yep. Oh, what? You must have missed. Try roll. Yeah, I thought it added the misses, but I guess it didn't. It must be adding. That's so strange.
Yeah, I don't know. Said no attribute was fine.
Well, you actually, because you've got those two effects, all melee attacks have a knockdown effect. You do the old gut punch and thread the fingers together down on the back of him, and he falls down onto the ground. But he seems to be okay at the moment. And now it's your guys' move.
All right, I think Logan, as he's pulling him to the ground, be like, Chief, attack pattern Delta. Go ahead.
I'm with you, Captain. I will move into a more advantageous position and just, I think, stun from standing up. Just.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know how well I did on that.
So unfortunately, you take aim, but you just you just managed to miss one of the Neanderthals looking people. The one that fell, one of the ones on top of the rock attempts to throw a rock down at you guys, aiming for the ensign, and he throws the rock, but Ensign Sarala, thankfully you took cover behind that tree as it slams into the rock, into the tree right in front of you. And it comes back around to you guys.
All right, so is there another one that's lifting a rock up on the rocks?
So one of them's already down.
Yep.
Oh, there's still one on the rock. I'm sorry, I have another guy to do that.
Yeah. Okay, then I think Logan will take aim and try to stun him as well.
Okay.
And I do have a focus and hand phasers, so I assume that applies here. Regular complication roll. Okay, here we go. Oops. Let me do. It's control and security.
Yep.
To fire phaser. Okay.
Yep. You easily strike. Go ahead and roll the damage dice. All right, you score 4 hits there. And we won't worry. I mean, all the effects you can do with your phaser are kind of all over the place. We're not going to worry about which ones you're going to do.
Yeah, that's for advance. That's for season 2. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's season 2. You fire at the one up on the rock, holding one above his head, and you hit him right in the chest, and he crumples down, kind of rolls off onto the ground. And there's just the one. There's one still up on the rock, and there's the one on the ground in front of you, Logan.
Yeah, he's still active. He's just
on the ground.
Yep, got it.
So now we come back to the beginning of the round, really, and it's still the player's activation.
I will take the one. Take a shot at the one on the rock.
Okay, fire away. Ooh, you take aim, but the one squirming on the ground next to Captain Logan kind of hits you in the ankle and just throws you off just a little bit, and you just missed the one up there.
I don't. That quick action wouldn't allow me to take another hit, would it?
What is it? What does it actually say?
It wouldn't actually. No, it wouldn't. Nothing I have here. Well.
You can always spend momentum to keep the. You can always spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative.
No.
All right. So the one on the ground stands up and attempts to hit you again, Logan. Give me that daring and security back. Oh.
Uh-oh.
So he picks up this rock and kind of slams it down on your shoulder. So that's going to take off. That's going to take off 2 of your stress. You don't have any resistance right now because of this. And you don't have any armor or nothing like covers providing you resistance.
Right.
So he hits you in the shoulder with this rock, and it kind of just pushes you down onto the ground. And you're kind of down on both your knees right now.
All right. Ugh.
Yep. And it's your guys' move.
Am I close enough that I can tackle
Oh yeah, yeah,
adversaries?
yeah.
Then that's what I would like to try to attempt to do. I'm not a good shot with a phaser.
Okay.
We'll be like,
So-
Captain!
This will be again. It's going to be a contested daring security. So go ahead and roll yours.
Okay. Nope.
Oh,
Ooh.
this one guy is not giving up. He sees you coming in, and he kind of, oh, geez, he kind of stiff arms you, and as you're coming in, and you just kind of trip up and fall on the ground, and you're gonna take five of your stress off there. And whenever you take 5 or more hits in a, whenever you take 5 or more damage in a single strike, you're considered to have a minor injury. And it kind of, this is like you getting a good solid hit that's going to knock you out for the rest of this encounter.
Okay. He stiff arms me and I fall. He doesn't even punch me. That's so embarrassing.
Well, it's kind of, it's not, yeah, he blocks the tackle, and using your momentum, he kind of throws you towards the rock that they were all standing
Judo
on.
throws me. I'm good with that. I'm just.
Yeah, he judo throws you. You kind of go back against the rock, get the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah, I'll do the slow stumble backwards.
Yes, the slow stumble backwards. I guess the one up on the rock now kind of jumps down, since he already threw his rock, and is going to attempt to engage with Commander Nora in a melee attack. So I'll need a daring security back from you, Nora. You managed to parry his blow. Go ahead and roll an unarmed strike. Is for you guys, it's 1 plus your security. And Steve, I'm sorry, you're not actually knocked down.
I'm just on my knees, though, right? Not like
Yeah.
on the ground.
You don't have the formal knockdown condition.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you guys just watch as the captain and Talk are trying to take down this one guy. The other one comes down, and like it was basically a quick roundhouse kick. Nora just hits this guy in the face, and he goes poof, right down onto the ground.
Take him down, Sarala. You're up.
All right.
So there's 2 left on us, right? There's the one that like knocked both me and Damari down,
There's
and
just
the one that
the-
just ran up to Nora.
There's just the one.
Oh, okay. Oh, because she just knocked him.
You guys stunned 2 with your phasers.
That's right.
And Nora roundhouse kicked the other one.
Is there anything I can do to kind of like focus my shot, like aim at him?
So you can take an aim minor action. She probably should have told you guys about this before, but I forgot. Sorry. So on your turn, you always can do a task roll plus 1 minor action. One of the minor actions you could do is aim, and that will let you re-roll a single d20 as part of your attack roll.
Okay. I'd like to aim, and then
Okay.
is the roll the same as last time?
Yep, it'll still be 2 dice. So you can, because you rolled a critical failure there with that 0, you can re-roll that 1 critical failure to try to get out of that at least.
Do I just change my task roll to 1 or my complication to 1?
Just change your task roll to 1 and roll another die. Okay. So you get 1 success, but unfortunately just the cluster of people in this zone all engaged in this melee combat, you can't get a clean shot. And I believe the one, so that guy already went, didn't he? Yes, he did.
He did, yeah.
So
I think I'm the only person who hasn't acted yet.
So yeah, it's your go.
All right, I'll just sort of, while on my knees, covered in rock dust or whatever, raise the phaser and aim and take a shot at him.
Okay.
Kind of from the hip, I think. So let's control, security, complication range 1. Yes, yep. Focus. Here we go.
Yeah, you strike him with the phaser. Beam goes out, hits him right in the chest. And he takes a good clean hit and falls down to the ground. And after this quick, brutal melee, you're all left there some quiet in this almost primordial jungle that seems to be around you.
All right, I would quickly run over to Damari and pull out my medical tricorder. Scanning him.
And as you're doing that, you see he kind of he coughs a little bit. He's all right.
Did we get
all right, Chief?
I'll be okay.
All right, stand up, straighten my uniform. Glad you're on our side, number 1.
It's what I do, sir. And Easy, you said one of them, the suit matched Drells?
So the suit, all the uniforms that they're wearing are kind of these torn, ragged uniforms that look to be, as you've looked at them now closer, you can see that they're just kind of torn up Starfleet uniforms that people at a science outpost would be wearing.
Okay.
These people aren't necessarily members of Starfleet per se, but they're Federation scientists. The mix at this outpost would have been a mixture of some Starfleet personnel and civilian scientists as part of the Federation.
Well, we can only hope that the counselor's all right. We saw the outpost was what, 1 click away?
I think it was about 3.
3 clicks, Captain.
You all right to go, Chief? Should we stay here with the ship?
I think if I'd prefer it, Captain, I'd like to get back to the counselor.
All right.
We'll say you guys kind of pull yourself together for a minute, take a brief... Does anyone have any first aid skills or anything like that?
Nah, man.
Right.
I have medicine as my worst discipline.
Good.
I'm kind of like, hey, I guess you just walk it off.
Good. All right. So, Talk, you're going to get 2 of your stress back. And Captain Logan, you can get all yours back since you weren't actually injured.
With what I normally carry, would that include anything to secure people?
I think it might not necessarily be on your person, but I'm sure there'd be some kind of material you could use to secure these people on board the Excalibur.
All right, I'll use parts of their own uniforms, tie them up, and drag them onto the Excalibur, and then head out with everybody else.
Okay, cool.
Quickly.
You can easily do that. You secure these 4. As far as you can tell, these bindings aren't perfect, but they'll probably hold them for a while. Yeah.
Captain, to get out the distress signal, they would have had to maintain it, especially with all this ion interference.
Could they have launched a beacon above the atmosphere? We didn't detect a beacon in orbit, right?
No.
We didn't, which would stand to reason that some might still be as we were when we left them.
As we start walking, I think Logan would kind of present to the group like, all right, well, let's think about the situation here. Upon putting the shuttle down, again, expertly Sarala, great flying, we noticed even the plants seem to be devolving. Having now seen humanoids in their primitive forms, we can surmise that some phenomenon is going on this planet to cause everything to retrograde, to devolve. Theories?
I've never known anything from Ion to be able to disrupt or pull back essentially pieces of the DNA strands.
What have they been researching here?
Did we know that information, Easy?
Let me see here. I don't actually...
I don't think we knew, or
No.
unless the information was there.
You knew that they were working on a potential...
Oh, you did say they were researching a cure for a disease.
a degenerative neurological disease.
Yeah.
Captain, it's possible they've been messing around with DNA, and this ion storm just accelerated something.
Could
That's
be
a-
That's not my experience.
be like rewriting a computer program, finding the virus and stopping it at an earlier stage.
Reverting to an earlier revision of the code. Ensign, can you scan for any sort of chronoparticles? We should rule out any kind of temporal anomalies.
Okay, Captain. Do I need a hand scanner for that?
You've got your... Everybody would have a tricorder.
Tricorder, okay.
So,
Can I assist the ensign?
yes. How are you assisting?
I'll be like, Ensign, in case you haven't, for temporal shifts, you're going to want to move to a frequency lower than you would otherwise. And in fact, within 2 and 7. Too narrow, you won't pick it up. Too wide, you won't either.
Okay, what are we going to call this? All right, so this is going to be just like a ship sensor sweep, more or less. There's no difficulty, but depending on your level of success, you'll be able to determine more information about your environment.
So just click ship sensors.
No, you're going to be helping with your own disciplines. You're not here at the ship.
Yeah,
So
got you.
for how you would be helping, this would be some kind of probably engineering related. So
Reason and engineering.
yeah, I'd say that. And for Ensign, this would be reason and science. Well, that works. Assist rolls are always 1 die, and the task roll is always 2. So you guys kind of reversed
Might
it.
be.
But we'll work with that. So one of your momentum from this, since you've generated 4 momentum here, will automatically be spent for determining if there's any anything disrupting like timeline or like you said timeline stuff.
Temporal.
Right? Temporal. Mm-hmm. So there is no increase in tachyon emissions, which are typically responsible for that type of thing, from your scan.
You get to summarize that, Sierra.
Oh, Captain, I'm not getting anything that I can make sense of from these readings.
No clear signs of temporal phenomenon,
Any tachyons, Ensign?
Should I adjust the frequency a bit lower?
No,
that?
you should have it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're right, number 1. Maybe this is our doing. Some sort of research being performed. Maybe the ion storms picked it up and amplified it. I don't know. I think we'll have to find out some more information. We should get going.
I strongly suggest we double time it, sir. And I'll start off on a jog.
I concur. Phasers at the ready.
I assume you guys just want to bank the rest of that momentum.
Also,
yeah.
I'm gonna
Yep.
assume that but I'll take point. I am a security officer as well as first officer on the ship.
Oh yeah,
anyways, so-
you definitely got point.
Okay,
I'll be in the rear.
I'll take point and begin constantly scanning
All right.
on our way to the
Yeah, I'll have phaser out and also tricorder. I think just running through kind of standard diagnostics and scans as we're going, just to pick up any anomalies.
Okay, cool.
Nothing specific though.
No, easy. All right, so you guys, you begin your jog march towards the science center. the science outpost. It's not any simple stroll. You're going through some thick jungle here for several kilometers, and the terrain between you and the outpost it's beyond all the undergrowth and whatnot. It's rough and rocky, and there's strange and abundant flora blocking your path.
I don't know a whole lot about phasers. Would I be able to cut my way through without posing too much damage to anybody that could be around? Like, does it go way past the...
I mean, it's kind of just a continuous beam till it's interrupted by something. So you kind of making pretty wide swaths.
That'd be...
But, I mean, if something gets too thick, you could definitely cut it with the phaser easily.
That's what I'll be doing, cutting my way through as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I'm not going for delicacy or even being particularly colorful. I'm just going to...
Okay.
Possible
cool.
getting to the target.
All right. So as you trek on for probably about 30 or so... Oh, yeah.
Star Trek on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as you trek on for a while, we end that scene, losing one of your momentum. And we return back to the science outpost in the storage room where Counselor Drell and Dr. Ship and Dr. Mandel are hiding. And Counselor Drell, you're just kind of pacing back and forth, waiting to see if that sound returns or anything like that. And you're actually looking at Dr. Mandel, and you see his eyebrows twitching, and they almost look as if they're changing shape as you're staring at them.
Which one's eyebrows?
The one that was gravely injured before, who's barely hanging on, that you guys managed to stabilize.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot the name of the other person that's in the room with me.
It's Dr. Ship, or Dr. Heidi Ship.
Dr. Ship is the one that is not changing.
No, yeah, she is. She seems to be fine, and she's fine for the moment. But the one who is seriously injured on the ground does appear to be changing somehow.
Is there anything in the room with us that I could use to tie them up or restrain them?
Yeah, you look around for a little bit, and there's some fiber cord rope that you could use to restrain them, or kind of you guys cleared off a table, like a workbench that was in here, and you laid him down on it. You could easily restrain him down on the table if you wanted.
Dr. Ship, would you assist me in restraining him?
And she looks at you and kind of gives you this look of, why? And you remember that Dr. Ship and Dr. Mandel are their partners. And she's like, I'm not going to tie him up. He's dying here. I'm not going to have him tied up to a table in his last moments.
Dr. Ship, would you rather... Never mind that. I will do it if you will not assist me.
Fine, just be careful. And she kind of looks away, and you can see her kind of in one corner, just facing away from you. Just kind of, you can tell she's like chewing on her nails.
You know, I've actually, in my studies, it seems as though someone would be more at peace knowing that they had not harmed someone that they loved when they were in a different state of mind.
She looks at you. Just do it.
All right, I'll restrain him.
Okay. So you take the time and you tie him down so his legs are restrained, and wrap some rope around his upper body and make sure he can't get up. And as you're tying him up, he twitches a little bit, but He doesn't. He doesn't get up or anything. You can see that he took a blow directly to the head from something. You didn't see it happen, but you just remember Dr. Ship running down the hallway, kind of holding him up with the blood streaming down his face. And it's just when everything went crazy at the station. Did you want to do anything else?
I am actually, could I utilize constantly watching and attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies?
Yes.
And reduce difficulty by 1.
So I'm going to say detect danger or hidden enemies.
Just since last I know there was someone.
I'm going to say this is presence and probably security. Just for your tactical awareness of the situation. Be normally difficulty 2, but with your talent will be 1.
Click on presence.
I did.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
And then security.
Yep. And then task roll.
And you said 1?
You still roll 2 dice, but it's a difficulty of 1, so you only need 1 success.
And then I click on that, right?
Got it. You gained a momentum because of the extra success you rolled, which you can bank that. So you just kind of sense in for a moment, and kind of also with your telepathic powers, your abilities, you can tell that right now the rest of the station feels fairly quiet to you. But you're definitely picking up conflicted thoughts from Dr. Ship. She seems confused, a little bit angry. You just kind of get a repeating thought on the top of her head, which is, why is this happening? Why is this happening? This shouldn't be happening.
I am going to just talk through the process as I'm doing it.
Okay.
Right. I am now going to restrain his hands gently, and they're both flat. And now I will be moving on to the legs, and I'm making sure to avoid the wounds, and just to hopefully ease her mind that I'm not.
Yeah, and you can feel that she's eased down a little bit as you're doing that, and for the moment she seems a little bit calmer. And
I think I'll start. I think I have a little experience for some. Oh yeah, I have a little medicine in me. So I am going to actually start just like feeling the pulse and just saying things like, the pulse rate has stayed very much similar to when I last took it about 5 minutes ago. Seems to be good.
So if you would, just make a reason and medicine roll.
Beep, boop, beep.
This is going to be difficulty 2, but 2 dice. You succeed, and as you're kind of checking over some of the vital signs on him, he seems stable for the time being, but he's going to need a shipboard surgical suite relatively soon. Within probably, you'd guess, within 6 hours, or he's going to die right here.
And I've already, at this point, sorry.
Okay.
I've already tried to make contact and haven't heard anything back, right?
Yeah, you've attempted to hail. You guys originally attempted in the base communication center to contact anyone. but it didn't go anywhere. And you've also since tried with your communicator, and nothing's been able to go through. You know that once the storms started, that communications were intermittent and very spotty.
I think I'd still just attempt again.
Okay. And you tap on your communicator, and you call for anyone, but there's unfortunately no response. And I think we'll bounce back to the other group. All right. And as the rest of you have been moving through the jungle over some time, you come to a large ravine that's blocking your path. Sorry. Yeah, it's a large ravine. It's probably, 30 feet down to like a small creek bed. Like if you fall off this, you're not landing in a river safely. You're just going to probably break your ankle. But it's roughly 7 or 8 feet across. You see on one side of it, but this ravine stretches off in either direction as far as you can see. But this is definitely the way you had to go to get to the science outpost.
Well, it looks like we're crossing, everyone. Are there trees around? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was actually about to say that. Can we try creating a rough bridge, cutting down some trees?
Yeah, easily.
Like that.
Yeah, there's trees around, and you could easily cut one of them down with using your phaser.
I'll cut the largest one down, but I'll also try to get a feel on each side of that one, just to make sure that main one, there's something there that if you slip a little bit, you'll hit something else before you just go.
Okay. All right. So just to see how well this goes, how well this cut goes, go ahead and make a control and security check for me.
I'd like to assist in a fairly physical way. I'd sort of be like, Ensign, Chief, come with me. We'll sort of lean against it as she cuts it to make sure the tree kind of falls in the right direction.
All right, so that will be fitness and security.
Okay.
And that'll be the task roll will be 2?
Yep.
Okay.
And 1 from you, Steve. All right, so you guys take the time, and you're pushing it, and it takes a little bit of time to cut through a whole tree with a phaser, with a hand phaser, but you do cut through it, and the tree, with the guidance of Tak and the captain, kind of falls slowly and with a thud lands on either side of the ravine. And it looks like you have a pretty stable crossing point.
I'll go across first to check it.
Okay. So go ahead and make me a fitness and security. And with that, you kind of balance your way across. The log seems like it's in place fine.
Okay.
All right. I'll be right behind you, number 1. Yeah, I'll go next. Fitness and security. I'm a nerd. Wish me luck. Wait, complication range is 1. There we go. Ah.
You easily, you just kind of, you don't think about it too much, and you just kind of quickly go across.
All right. And given that it's only 7 or 8 feet across, I think I'll sort of position myself, firmly, feet planted, but arm reaching out as far as I can for whoever's next to kind of grab them as they get halfway across.
Okay. Who's next?
Ensign, after you.
Okay. Same roll for me.
Yep.
Security and fitness. Okay.
Yep.
Is there any way for them to have advantage because they've watched us go across that they could they know where to step?
Mm.
I'll say you've already created an advantage in this scene by making the bridge.
All right, I'll just go back to keeping watch then.
But if you guys are, you definitely, if you're prepared to receive them, I mean, the chances of someone falling here. Now that I said this,
I'm fucked.
Don't give away those secrets. So
Doc's dead.
I'll let Ms. roll the assist roll because you can only have one character assist at a time, right?
Correct.
Go ahead, Ms. It's all you.
All right, I'll hand point off to the captain and just reach out as far as I can.
All right.
Can
Good.
I
All right.
spend...
What do you want to do?
No, I'll wait. Can I wait for Doc to roll first and see if I can spend a
It's
momentum?
Sarala first.
The Sarala help first.
And Sarala passes over easily. All right, Doc.
I'll be crawling up on the log, be like, I belong in an engine room. Wait.
Are you doing a balance, or are you doing like the on all fours crawl across the?
On all fours.
Okay.
Nope.
Spend the
Get him,
momentum
Miz.
to help.
Wow.
So I'm gonna gain a threat. But with Commander Nora's help, it's you're almost over on all fours, and there's a bit of moss on the part of the tree, and you just kind of slip off one hand. But Nora manages to kind of catch you by the back of the neck of your uniform and pulls you across the rest of the way.
I'll put a hand on her shoulder. Yeah. Thank you, Commander.
I'll just pat him on the back and get into
All right, Chief.
point position.
I belong in an engine room, Captain.
Logan will also pat number one on the back because that was all her. All right. Let's keep moving. Make sure this log is here when we get back.
Unless the logs start evolving, you should be okay. So you guys continue on your way through the jungle, and the jungle breaks, and ahead of you is a little bit of an open area, kind of like where you landed. But this one, while it looks similar, some of the plants you remember seeing where you landed have changed in how they look. There's these brightly colored flowers and bushes that seem to be bearing some kind of fruit on them.
Captain. These are at different states in their evolution. Everything at those moments were perfectly adapted at one thing for that time frame. It's difficult to determine what they're good at right now. Just growing in the climate, being poisonous.
Understood. Question. Ensign, you've eaten foods from 100 different worlds. Take a look at these berries. Don't touch them. Is there anything you can glean from them? And we shouldn't spend too long here, but any insights?
I'd really rather use a tricorder, Captain. That's really dangerous. A berry can look edible and not be edible.
Of course. I'm certainly not asking you to taste it, but I am curious. Let's take a quick look before we keep moving.
So should I scan it? Should I sniff it? Break one open and sniff it?
Don't do that.
How do you
Don't
wanna
do
do
that.
Nick, check. A smells check.
Wow.
You're gonna waft one?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and make a reason and science. And I'd say you can apply a focus here because of your history.
Okay. Okay, let's see if I do this right.
All right. So you break one of these berries open. This berry is actually It's like a magenta color. And you're careful to break it open. You kind of waft it. This one, it smells safe. You don't feel any effects hitting you as you inhale it.
Are there any birds or marmots around?
There are birds kind of up in the trees around the edge of this area, but they don't seem particularly interested in any of the plants in the area.
Yeah, we better not eat this.
All right, let's proceed.
Do we have supply bags?
You could easily take something from the. So standard issue, you have your Type 2 phaser, your tricorder.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about like rations and stuff like that?
I just mean like a bag, potentially for samples, medical supplies. Would we have brought any of that?
You could have easily brought a first aid kit if somebody wanted to carry it.
Honestly, with all of us having crap medicine, we probably didn't even think about it.
If only I were here.
But you could have a bag with some, basic supplies in it, or gathering samples or something like that.
That was more what I was like, Captain. I'm not sure if you think it's worth it, but there's a chance that some of these haven't been seen in a millennia.
Good thinking. Grab it if you can. Be careful.
All right. So you guys will talk. I assume you gather some of these.
I'll gather a few varieties and try to be careful. I'll make myself a note to put in the biofilters as we enter back into the Avalon.
Mm-hmm. So, Tak, as you're doing this, could you make me...
Nah, man.
Is this a worm check?
Yeah, make a worm check.
Never leaving the ship again.
Do you have any field survival skills, anything like that?
Nah, man. I got computers, power systems, shields. I'm good at a space station.
You guys are really good on planets.
Yeah, we really are. Let's just stay the ship from here on
Go ahead.
out.
What am I rolling here?
Make me. Ooh. It's gonna be presence.
Okay.
And I will say security.
Security?
Yeah.
Or science? Security?
Oh, we're gonna say security here.
All right. Task roll 2.
Yep. So as you're gathering up some of these plants, there's this one flower you look at, and you're trying to carefully remove it off, but it's surprising how much strength there is to the stem of this. And as you finally disconnect it, there's a powder, pollen-like powder in the flower that splashes up in your face. And you immediately begin to cough, and your eyes are burning. But that's exactly what's happening. You're wiping out your eyes, trying to get this stuff out of your mouth. It tastes terrible. You take a moment to collect yourself, and you're okay, but this is leaving you with this lingering cough that is pretty. You haven't felt a cough like this for a long time. Yeah,
Chief, kind of clap him on the back. All right. Nobody look at anything else.
And Tak, you are unfortunately poisoned for the time being until you can synthesize a cure for that or something like that.
Chief, you're definitely right. You belong.
What does that mean for me?
Essentially, it just means every task is going to be one level more difficult for you until you can get that dealt with.
All right, yeah, I'll start pulling on the turtleneck and the sweat.
I'll sort of try to carry him a little bit. All right, come on, Chief. No, nobody else. Let's keep moving. Don't touch anything.
All right. And as you continue on,
what's the storm look like overhead? Is it getting worse?
It is getting. It doesn't look like it's increasing in strength anymore, but it is getting closer as you guys are moving on. It's kind of crazy looking at it as just this huge rolling cloud front with you see cracks of blue electricity through it.
What's the situation, number one? How long do you think we have?
I'll take a good look around. And what do I need to roll anything?
I'd say you've probably been keeping track of time, at least in your head or through your tricorder. You knew you had, I'm trying to remember. I think you had 4 hours until the storm was going to hit when you landed. Hit the research center. So at this point, I would say you guys probably have still 3 hours until the storm hits the research center.
Captain, I believe we have probably about 3 hours. I can take some more readings to give you a better option, but a better opinion. However, sir, I suggest we move on as quickly as possible.
I concur. Let's go. Chief, you gonna be all right?
I'll be all right, Captain. If we run into those ions, they're not good on the humanoid bodies by any means. And we have to get back to the ship and add to the startup sequence. Shields first, of course.
All right, I remember. All right, number one, let's go.
And as you guys march on, we return to Counselor Drell inside the science station. Counselor, you took a few moments, just kind of to rest, and you kind of rest your eyes for a little bit, and you open your eyes again, and you just see you're not in the same place you remember. You see a long, dark corridor ahead of you, and you're just kind of sitting up against the wall, and you see at the far end of this corridor, you just see these 2 gold kind of piercing eyes, probably about, they're probably about 3 or 4 feet off the ground in the darkness ahead of you. And you see these eyes getting closer to you and closer to you. And right as you almost feel like you'd be able to reach out and touch them, you wake up and you're back in the storage room. And you kind of feel this, you feel like something is changing in yourself. As the storm is closer to the station here, you begin to hear the sounds of wind kind of buffeting up against the station itself. And you feel like you keep playing tricks on yourself as you think you see flashes of movement out of the corner of your eye. Or is it just, you think, is this just the wind, or is something actually happening? You actually feel your heart rate increasing and you're breathing heavier. Go ahead and make a control and command roll, just to see if you can maintain your own composure here. Or I'd say you could also, it'd be control and command.
Complication 1?
Yep, normal complication. So, you are beginning to really question if you are in the right state of mind here. And you're beginning to get a little bit paranoid, and you're thinking in the back of your own mind, can I trust this Dr. Ship? I don't know if I can trust her. And you now have the paranoia trait for the... you're beginning to get paranoid, and you have a paranoia trait for the remainder of this incursion, or until we can figure out some way to potentially reverse this. But whatever's happening to everyone else on the station is beginning to affect you. It probably affect you even slower because of your Betazoid ancestry, but it's beginning to affect you.
I'm probably just going to be staring at her and like trying to keep my composure, but mumbling under my breath. Question, observe, judge. Question again, observe, judge, question.
Yeah, and from now on, basically what this will mean from now on, it's just going to increase the complication range, because you've got constant thoughts going in the back of your head that'll make any task rolls a little bit more complicated. And we bounce back over to the crew traipsing through this foreign or alien world. As you finally get through the last bit of brush, Commander Nora, you actually see ahead of you the metallic rough outlines of a few of these kind of prefab buildings that make up the science outpost. You see there's a landing pad, there's a central building, there's a landing pad, and there's another building over here. At the landing pad where the shuttle, the base is supposed to have, that shuttle has now moved. It's no longer in the center of the launch pad. It looks as if someone tried to fly it and just immediately flew it straight forward into the jungle, and it's crashed no more than 50 feet from where it would have taken off.
Okay. I call for a halt and... Captain, we're here. Things are not looking good.
The station itself is intact, but heavy damage is evident along the structure's exterior. You mainly see dents and some small punctures that mar the surface of it. There are a few areas you can tell that have been hit by phaser fire.
Do I see anybody?
You do not see anybody milling about the station. You see at the one building to the left of the landing pad, there's one door that leads in, and at the smaller building to the other side, there's another door that leads in there.
Would the... I can't think of the word right now. I'm just going to say Starfleet Archives have any blueprints of this facility?
Not... I mean, unless you researched it beforehand. And
I would think I would have, considering my background, but if that's okay.
I mean, you would know a lot of these stations are laid out pretty similarly. Mm-hmm. They're made of these large prefab sections that are basically just transported to the surface, and then they use a shuttle or something with a small tractor beam to kind of link them all together. There isn't one of this particular station on file, mainly because they just kind of... The ship that's bringing them in just kind of shows up. They just throw them together as quickly as they can, because it's just another day at the office for them.
Okay.
GM, question.
Yes.
Being that Counselor Drell and I have served together for some years,
Mm-hmm.
and we're close,
Yep.
I would know about her telepathic abilities.
You would, yes.
We've touched minds.
Okay.
Could I try to focus my thoughts to touch hers, or at least find the frequency that we're typically at?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I would like to attempt that, please.
Yeah, this is going to be more difficult because, you're poisoned.
And she's turning into a Neanderthal.
Yeah, and I'm
That too.
paranoid. So that's
She
great.
may not trust the feelings
Lies.
she's detecting.
Deceptions.
So I'm going to say to focus in on this. I don't know what this
Yeah, I gave you a weird one.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be presence
Okay.
and command.
All right. Can I spend a momentum? Do we have one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
guys
got
got
it.
5 momentum. You can spend one to add a die to your roll.
So I can add a die. So I have.
This is gonna be difficulty.
Range
It's gonna be normal difficulty 2, 3 because of the your poison complication.
Uh-huh.
So you can roll 3 dice, normal complication range, but the difficulty is 3.
Okay, so complication range, I still just have it 1?
Yes,
Okay. But I'm rolling 3 dice, but I need 3 successes.
that is correct.
Got it. Boom.
Boom.
Nice.
I will try to, while I lean up against the shuttle on the landing pad, just I'll be like, Deno. Drow. And I'll just try to start focusing.
Okay. You focus in, and Deno, at the back of your mind, you kind of hear this familiar kind of voice. I'm gonna also get a roll from you. It's gonna be the same presence and command, but your complication range is gonna be a 2. But the difficulty will only be a 2 for you.
I still keep it at 1.
Oh, wait.
It's just you just need 2 successes.
No, the complication range will go to 2 because of
Oh,
her
so I
paranoia.
did have it right. There's my accurate roll.
All right. I mean, you didn't get any critical failures, so the first one counts. Really, all that the complication range does is it increases the range at which you can crit fail.
Mm.
And looking at this, you did not roll a 19 on that first roll, so we'll count that. And as you felt the voice in the back of your mind, it becomes a little bit stronger as you kind of focus in on it, and you know that Tak is nearby.
And I'm not questioning it.
Now this is a moment of clarity for you.
I'm gonna try to reach out
Okay.
and see if I can respond and get some dialogue going. And
Okay. What are you going to try to reach out with?
just gonna try and I don't know. I guess just talk out loud. I mean, I guess I don't know. No, wait, it doesn't work that way. Ah.
I mean, you've made this connection. I'm not asking for any roll. It's just what are you trying to send to
Can it work that way?
Because you have
and-
full telepathy, right? You're not.
you have full
You're not
telepathy. You're
partial.
not just
You're full telepathic.
It just says that I can read surface thoughts and emotions. I don't have the full on thing here, but I can. I didn't even.
well, yeah, I guess if that's the case, you can. I'm gonna say
Maybe it's
you
more
can-
like a beacon. You know that they're there.
You know that Tak is here, and you can read his current surface thoughts. Which Tak, your surface thoughts are.
My surface thoughts are, I think, a slightly panicked, where are you? And also trying to focus, like going through the motions, like, I'm poisoned. Deno, where are you? I'm poisoned. Like, I mean, I think there's a level of serious panic.
Yeah. Okay. So that is what you pick up from Tak, and you know he is nearby.
I think. At this point, I don't know. I think I'm getting the feeling that I want us to leave this room.
Okay. So you're gonna leave the room?
I'm gonna. What's her name again? I keep forgetting to.
Dr. Ship.
Ship?
Yes.
Dr. Ship. Dr. Ship, I think it's time that we leave this room. You are more than welcome to stay with your partner. and I would absolutely understand that. However, I do believe it is best practice if we both leave together for safety, and I do not feel comfortable bringing him along.
I'm not leaving him. Go. I'm not leaving him. You're just going to leave us here anyway, aren't you?
Unfortunately, it is protocol that we all travel together.
I'm not leaving this room without him.
Would you be able to carry him while he is restrained?
I don't think so. I mean, he could wake up. I mean, I don't want to risk injuring him more.
In that case, perhaps I should go on my own.
Do whatever you want.
I will return, and I will have aid.
We'll see. So you're heading out of this room?
Yeah.
All right. So you head over to the door. Takes you a little bit, but you release the kind of door, the secured hatch, and the door swings open. You're startled by a sudden metallic bang on the floor next to you, but it was just because there was a wrench leaning up against the door, and it fell as you walked out.
Jerk.
And as you step out into the corridor, the outpost has been completely vandalized. Just there's debris and trash all over the place. There are long lighting strips from the ceiling. They're just kind of hanging down and sparking. And as you're moving towards where you think Talk is, when you're not far down the hallway, the door behind you, Dr. Ship has closed it, and you see her sealing it again.
Dang. Ouch.
But as those of you who are outside make your way towards, do you guys want to check the main building or that outbuilding first?
I think.
What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I think we would head towards the main building, but how far apart are the buildings?
I mean, there's a landing pad in between them that's probably 50 feet by 50 feet. It's not a huge distance between the two. And say up on a hill nearby, there's some wind turbine generators, but those have been torn to hell.
I think
by
the captain
storm.
is still kind of carrying Talk, so I think Logan would say, "Let's get to the main building. We have to get Damari some medical assistance."
Captain, I'm trying to reach out with my thoughts and find the counselor. I don't know if she can hear me or not.
Well, I certainly hope she can. Easy, I'm trying to fix your cam.
My green screen.
Quick question, Easy.
Yes, sir.
Shuttle look operable, or is it, trashed?
You'd have to take a closer look from the exterior. It's banged up, but you'd have to take a closer look to really.
I might stop the captain and be like, "Captain, in the event we're trying to make a quick exit, if I can get this shuttle just to get us back to the Waverider, we could beat the storm."
All right, we'll take a look at it after we get you some medical assistance, Chief.
I don't know if we have time, Captain.
We'll make
Captain,
time.
Can we leave them with the shuttle? You and I go ahead.
The ensign has enough experience with shuttles where I'm sure she could at least tell you if it's able to fly or not.
All right, Ensign, can you look out for Talk?
Yes, Captain. Of course.
All right.
Quick question.
Can I, support his arm over my shoulders, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Commander Nora.
In short range, would our communicators work?
Potentially, you would have to try it.
I'll just do a quick test to Captain, to whoever's farthest away from me, just to see if I get a response.
You do a quick test, and they do appear to be functioning in short range.
Excellent. If there's any issues, we'll let you know.
Keep your phasers handy. We don't know how many more there were. There were 15 people, I believe, assigned to this outpost, and we can only account for 4.
13.
Plus
Plus
the counselor.
commander. Plus the counselor.
You're right. Got it.
Okay.
Acknowledge, Captain.
All right, and we'll head to the main building.
And I'll also say, Commander Nora, you're not sure how far of a range this will go because of the interference in the atmosphere, and depending on how much damage just the outpost itself could cause.
Yeah, I'm prepared to take the chance. So.
Okay. Oh God, there's dogs in the woods.
They're a devolved form of wolf.
Yes.
It's the primitive sounds.
That's the name of this episode. There's dogs in the woods.
Oh.
But you guys head towards the main building, and as I kind of described earlier, as you open up the main hatch into the outpost, and it's kind of a narrow hallway, and again, completely vandalized. There's just debris and garbage everywhere, hanging lights from the ceiling. Kind of as you round one of the corners, you see at the far end of it a humanoid figure in a Starfleet science uniform.
I'd like to have my little crappy, like, square flashlight that they have, that despite being 400 years in the future, their flashlights are worse than what I can buy from Walmart.
Yes.
Just be holding that up.
You have your crappy little square flashlight.
Yeah. I have my phaser in the other hand. Counselor, is that you?
And Counselor, you see and hear, I guess you probably, I don't know.
I don't think we've met, but we probably would have at least checked out each other's, like, Starfleet LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. And you see the captain at the far end of the corridor.
Captain?
Counselor, are you all right? Not putting his phaser down yet.
I'm all right. However, I've been experiencing some paranoia.
Put his phaser away. Commander, keep an eye out. What's going on here, Counselor? He'll flip the light off and walk forward.
Well, sir, I'm sure that you've seen what's happened to the people outside.
We have. When did that start?
About a week
36.
ago. Wait, 30 days?
36 hours.
36, yeah. A week, days. I don't know who. 36 hours, sir.
All right. Counselor, I wish we could meet under better circumstances. He'll shake her hand.
Sir, if you don't mind me saying, this is the absolute best of circumstances.
Is it?
Yes, you just quite possibly saved my life. And
Of course.
I would actually require some assistance immediately. Two of the people that I had barricaded with me, they need assistance right now, sir.
All right, I understand. And Counselor, this is Lieutenant Commander Nora. She's first officer.
Counselor?
What do you say? Are you just like, hey, what's up?
I mean, I think you say commander, or you'd be like, nice to meet you. I mean, you're a little panicked, paranoid, and there's neanderthals running around.
Commander, it's a pleasure.
You as well. Hopefully we'll be under more pleasant circumstances soon.
Hopefully. Are any of you able to one of the people in the things are happening very quickly. We should move.
I understand. All right. Come on, number one.
And the three of you you're heading back towards where you were with Dr. Ship?
Yes.
Okay. So the three of you head that way. By this time, Ensign Sarala and Lieutenant Commander Damari have made it over to the crashed shuttle that's in the jungle a little bit. And either one of you can make this main roll with a reason engineering, and the other can assist. However you guys want to do it.
I got a pretty high reason in engineering. How about you?
I have very low engineering.
Okay. I'll set that difficulty range higher since I'm poisoned.
Yes, it is.
All right.
It's going to be difficulty 2. And Ensign, you can assist just from your flight skills. I'm going to say with your control and con.
I'm like, Ensign, in the cockpit, start running regular system diagnostics on the propulsion system and the shields.
I got this. I got this, sir. I know what to do.
Okay, Ensign.
So I'll rush in there, but and check to see if the ship is operational, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
go.
You rolled 1-6. All right. Between the two of you, you managed to inspect the systems on the shuttle. It will lift off again. It's going to be a little dicey pulling it out of the debris it's kind of buried itself in. But you can probably all the systems seem to be functioning as normal. It didn't go far, luckily. It's just got a couple bumps in the hull.
Ensign, let's plot the quickest course back to the Waverider shuttle.
I'm already on top of that. I'd like to also maybe get the air scrubbers and filters working, because I have maybe if he capped some fresh air, might help with slowing the poison down.
Yeah, I think so. So this is it's a Type 8 shuttle. It's got like the big cargo ramp in the back. It's the space minivan.
The space Dodge Grand Caravan.
Yeah.
I actually have it up here.
So you're able to get all the systems up and running, and Damari, just being in the shuttle with a little bit of life support, it's definitely helping you. But you're still going to need some kind of medical.
I'll be unzipping, kind of sitting back at the engineering station, trying to focus in on making sure that Ensign Sarala can get back to the Waverider shuttle.
Strap in, Commander. This is going to be bumpy.
Are you going to try to move the shuttle out of the debris?
Yeah, I want to punch it. Maybe that can hop it out.
Okay. Make a
Nice.
daring and con roll for me.
Can
Hell
I
yeah.
assist her?
Yes, you can. How are you going to assist?
I am going to assist by trying to manually control the propulsion equilibrium through both sides of the propulsion system.
Alright.
Would that be
That's going to be control and engineering.
control and engineering? Okay.
All right. So
Can I use my focus for small craft on this?
Absolutely.
Okay. And is the complication...
Still
One?
gonna be, it's still 1, yes.
Okay.
So give me 2 dice.
Oops.
All right.
I rolled 2, sorry.
That's all right. With the assistance of the commander balancing the propulsion systems, it helps balance out the structural integrity field on the ship, and kind of give it one quick jolt with the engines, and it kind of just jolts out of the pile of rubble, the trees that's in. It's like you do it so quickly that you pull the shuttle back, and then the trees fall.
That's awesome.
It's a little jarring to you talk with your predicament right now, but
I'd like to spend. I don't need to do it now necessarily, but while we're waiting, I'd like to be like, Ensign, listen to me carefully. In the event that the spread's quicker and I pass out, I took apart the engine core from the Waverider shuttle. You need to put it back together specifically in this order, and I'll just tell her what needs to happen specifically back in that order.
okay.
Can I narratively pass out now?
Yeah, if you want.
I'm gonna go for it.
All right.
I've given her the information she needs.
Right as you're finishing up your last sentence, Ensign Sarala, Commander Damari just passes out right in front of you. He's kind of leaned back in one of the chairs right next to the engineering station, but he's just out.
Can I floor it and go like as fast impulse as possible so that I'm just at the other shuttle?
Are you going back to the Waverider right now?
Oh, we're supposed to go back to it, right?
We're waiting for them.
Oh, I thought I was taking you back to the ship right away.
I thought we were waiting for them.
Yeah, I think the idea was we were gonna get.
You're passed out. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Anyway.
Yeah, you're passed out. The three of you walk out. There's no shuttle. Ensign's gone.
You could always let us know.
I mean, you could fly to with how fast the shuttle would go. You could honestly fly to the Waverider and back in like 5 minutes tops, if not less.
Is there a good reason for me to do that? Is there medical on it?
On the Waverider, there is a small, like, little medical station where you could probably synthesize some kind of. Actually, using the samples he's collected, you could probably synthesize an antitoxin.
Physician, heal thyself.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty worried about the engineer, so I'm gonna calm them and say, "See, I'm going back to the shuttle. I'm gonna try to help him and come back for them."
You get that communication.
Acknowledged, Ensign. I think the captain will look at the first officer and be like, all right. Good initiative. All right, counselor. Take us to who's left here.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
What, go ahead.
No, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, okay. Captain, I have not seen Dr. Zinnemann, who is commanding the ship. I don't know, it's been many hours. And Dr. Mendel and Dr. Ship and I were able to barricade ourselves in here. Dr. Ship and I came up with a interesting theory as to why we think that this happened. She has more. She can explain it to you once we get to her. However, Dr. Mendel is in very terrible shape.
All right, counselor. The way we see it, we've got less than 3 hours to evacuate the rest of this planet. We've accounted for 4 people currently on the Waverider. We've got you, Dr. Ship, and what was the other one?
Dr. Mendel, who is currently restrained in the room.
Dr. Mendel. That makes 6. That means we're still down 7 more people. We need to find them before we lift off.
And by this point, you probably have 2 hours left.
All right,
Do you
I
know
would
if
say
there's been
that.
any deaths?
Sorry?
She
Do
was
you know-
asking the counselor.
Yeah, I was asking her, does she know if there's been any deaths?
Have I seen anyone dead?
You have not seen anyone actually die. I mean, the most violent thing you've seen was Dr. Mendel getting hit. And then after that chaos happened, you quickly retreated with Dr. Ship. You know that Dr. Zinnemann? Yes. Zinnemann was injured actually before people started going crazy from actually the ion storm. And last you saw him, he was in the sick bay in the outpost. But you don't know what's happened to him since.
Commander, I have not seen anyone killed. However, I have seen some questionable activities and heard some questionable thoughts.
All right. Well, let's open this door. Stand there with his phaser at the ready.
And, who's
Actually, you know what?
gonna
I think before he does that, I think he would bang on the door and just doom, 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 doom. Dr. Ship, my name's Captain Logan, the USS Avalon. We're here to rescue you and your team.
No response.
All right. Commander, would you kindly open that door for me?
Very well, sir. And I'll step forward and I'll just turn as quickly as I can. If I have to, lean back and use some leverage.
Mm-hmm. You quickly just kind of quickly get it open, and you pull it open, and inside you see Dr. Who you presume is Dr. Ship. She's just kind of leaning over the figure that is tied down to the table, and you look at her and just holding back tears. You look at her and it's too late. They're all gone. And Jasper, and she just breaks down, collapses to the floor.
Dr. Ship, I need you to listen to me very carefully. We have a ship in orbit, and we have a Waverider standing by to evacuate your people. But I need you right now to focus, and I need you to pull yourself together, explain to us the nature of this research here, and whether or not we can cure these people, or at the very least, call them back to this facility so that we can stun them and drag them back aboard our ship. We've got limited time, Dr. Ship, and I need you to focus right now.
Make me a presence and command.
All right.
You've got to have a captainy focus that would apply to this.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. I might not. I have persuasion. Yeah, persuasion's a focus.
Yep, that would work.
Is that good?
Yep. Were you saying something, Nora?
I was gonna see if I could assist, but
I would say you certainly could.
I've got composure and diplomacy.
Yeah, I think
stuff, so.
either one of those could apply. And I'd say for you it would also be a presence and command. One die.
Okay.
Assist rolls are always one die. All right. Unfortunately, she seems to still be unresponsive. She's just kind of in a ball on the floor, crying.
I'll look at the counselor. How long has this been going on? How long has she been this gone?
How long has...
I mean, when you left the room, she still seemed fine. I mean, as you look at the table where Dr. Mendel was, he's definitely no longer breathing and is probably dead.
She was fine when I left. Merely minutes ago, it seems like she had all of her senses about her.
Logan's going to look grave for a second, and he's going to call upon an inner ruthless commander to try to effect this change given the limited time. So I think he's going to have a slightly grave look to his face, and he's going to try it one more time with a slightly different approach. He's going to say, Dr. Ship, whatever's happening here seems to be affecting the entire planet, and at this point, I do not know enough information whether or not to rule out your activities as the cause. So here's what I'm going to do, Dr. Ship, and I hope you're paying close attention. I'm going to contact my vessel, which is in orbit right now, and I'm going to have them target a photon torpedo in the center of this base. I will absolutely destroy this base unless you can help me understand what's going on here. Please, pull yourself together. And because I'm pulling on some ruthless shit, I'm going to use a point of threat to add a d20 to my roll.
Do that? Sure, you can do that.
Cool. And I have a talent called Bold. When you use command and buy a d20 by adding to threat, you may re-roll a d20.
Oh, you're
so he's willing
to
to... I mean, it's obviously a bluff, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah, no, you can totally do that. So you can add a die. You can make the same. It's still going to be, I think, command and presence.
Yep.
Or presence and command. But yeah, go for it.
Cool, and I get to re-roll one. Oh, yeah.
You... she... As you start this whole thing, you see, right as you mention a photon torpedo, she quickly snaps up and connects eyes with you, and you can tell you scared the crap out of her. She's like, well, I don't. Listen, we were doing research on the Irumodic syndrome.
Irumodic syndrome.
It's supposed to cause a memory loss in later age, but just before the ion storm started striking, we had a bit of a breakthrough. We discovered that combination of some of the genetic material from the flora and fauna could be useful in the treatment of this. But whatever's happened, this storm seems to be at the center of it. Everyone, I think, by now has probably turned. I feel myself, I'm losing control. And I just... It all points back to the storm. But I think potentially something could be synthesized from the materials we were using to research for the cure to the syndrome. It requires the genetic material from some flora and fauna on the planet.
All right. Counselor, Commander, I want both of you to go out and find that genetic material as necessary. Dr. Ship, I need your help. We need to lure back everyone we can to get back here. We've got less than 2 hours at this point. Maybe we can rig up a pulse of some kind or something to pull people back here. I'll see if I can get my chief engineer back, although he's a bit under the weather right now. All right, people, we've got 1 hour. Let's see if we can round up as many people as we can and synthesize a cure. After that, we're getting back to the Avalon. We'll take everyone that we possibly can.
I'm going to ask the doctor if there's any sort of face mask or anything like that we can use to protect ourselves.
You might be able to find something in one of the labs, but I don't know if it's been destroyed or not.
Very well.
I can take you there, Commander.
Good.
I think as Nora goes by, Captain will kind of wink at her, because I know she's all about using photon torpedoes to solve problem. Photon diplomacy.
Photon diplomacy.
I'll crack a quick smile and just go and head out.
All right. So, essentially to find these components, Dr. Ship gives you a rough description of the different components. One of them is a flower that has a pollen that is susceptible to being disturbed and causes a poisoning effect.
Oh, hell.
Oh. Would be great to know that.
Another one of these...
I'm immune.
Another one of these is a magenta-colored berry that you've already encountered. But she describes all the different components you'll need. But you're going to have to move quickly to gather these up from the nearby area.
As they're departing, too, I think I would hit my comm badge and... Logan to Sarala.
Yes, Captain.
You're out of range.
Oh,
I don't hear you. Never mind.
Logan to Sarala. Damn.
The approaching storm is definitely interfering with your communications.
All right. Logan would sit down with Dr. Ship and be like, what can we do to get people back? We're still 7 people short. I want to leave here with every single soul on this research planet. You can fade out at that point, but I think he's going to be trying to research what we can do to get people back.
So we're going to just cut back over to Sarala and talk. You guys have just sat down outside the Waverider. Sarala, you know where the medical station is on board the Waverider from checking out the schematics. You'll need a little bit more information. You'll probably need to check. You'll probably need to make a scan of Tak before you can attempt to synthesize a treatment for him.
Yeah, can I grab the berries out of his pouch too?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll start. Computer, how do I synthesize? How do I synthesize a poison control? An antidote.
Additional parameters required.
I have all the parameters. Look, here's the berries.
No, I did disconnect all the power.
You're right, you did.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Nothing's running.
Oh,
Nothing's running.
But
Right.
You gotta power it all up.
I know the order of all that. I gotta go do that first.
Okay, so if you're gonna reconnect the power right now, you need to make a engineering.
No boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is gonna be because you're trying to recall what Damari told you. It's gonna be reason and engineering.
You do have a momentum. Spend momentum to get a die if you want.
Yeah,
roll one more. I'll let you use it.
Do I roll exactly like I just did?
Just
Just
roll
with one die.
One die.
Oof.
Okay. You are trying to go through the motions that Damari described. You're inserting this coupler here, and you're putting this isolinear chip back in these 3 slots. And you go to try to. There's kind of like a flat panel switch that you're trying to prime. You hear a brief hum, but then it's just. Unfortunately, you did not. It doesn't seem like you put it back together correctly.
I'd like to beat on it with some percussive maintenance and see if that helps.
Percussive.
Just-
Okay, you give it a quick slam, but unfortunately, it seems like percussive maintenance is not the solution in this case. Yeah. So it will not necessarily require the power of the ship to synthesize this cure. It's really just mixing a few inside the first aid station. There's like just a few different chemical compounds that you just kind of run through this quick synthesizer, and it makes a hypo spray for it.
Okay.
You know with the flour and your tricorder, you can probably determine what chemicals you'd need to synthesize.
So, I'm sorry, say that again?
Using the flour that poisoned him
Okay.
and just your tricorder, you can probably determine what the source of the poison is. And then using that, you can probably synthesize some kind of cure.
Okay, so I'm trying to isolate whatever the toxic component is.
Yep. So make me a reason and science. You're scanning over the flour. You find that it's a genetic. It's something coded in the genetics of this flour that reacts. Interestingly, somehow it reacts only with Bajoran DNA. It just must be a fluke of the universe. But using that information and knowing that you won't be affected by this flour now, you run back into the Waverider. You grab a few. You look up on the tricorder. The tricorder actually gives you the information you need to synthesize this.
Oh, fantastic.
So, to synthesize this correctly, I will need a reason in medicine from you. And spend those momentum if you need them.
How do I spend them? Just add an extra...
Yeah, just tell me you're going to spend one, and you can add an extra die to the roll.
Yeah, I definitely need to spend one here.
All right.
All right.
So you have 3 dice. Go ahead and make this roll. That is enough.
Oh, good.
You synthesize what you believe will be an appropriate cure for Damari.
Can I just immediately take the hypo spray and try it on him?
You can run back over to him. You give a little to his neck, and Damari, you instantly start feeling just air coming back to your lungs. It burns a little bit as you breathe in, but you're actually taking in air again.
All right, I'll. Where's everybody else, Ensign?
We're out of communication range, but I assume they're where I left them.
Well done, Ensign.
Dogs in the woods.
Well done. All right. This is not even close to how this is supposed to be put back together. Let's get it working.
Yeah, I had a little trouble, sir. But do you mind if I get back to them?
Meg,
Fly us back?
I think we're running out of time. Let's put the Waverider together. Take that there.
Okay.
Tuck, it's going to take you a little bit of time to figure out what's in the wrong place here.
You know what? I'll say scratch that. I'll be like, scratch that. It's going to take me time to put this back together. Take the shuttle back and bring back whoever you need. I'll try to restore communications, too, if I can bounce off our comm badges from triangulate with the ship.
Got it, sir. I'll rush out to the other shuttle and...
You take off and fly back towards the outpost. Commander Nora and Counselor Drell, you guys are rushing, trying to find the 3 genetic components that the Dr. Ship described to you. And as you're searching, you hear this huge roll of thunder, like practically, it feels like it's on top of you. You look back as this storm is just creeping closer and closer, and the wind is actually starting to pick up now, and it's even it's starting to get a little bit darker because it's starting to block the sun. To find these components, you're going to have a little bit easier time because Damari collected some of them earlier, so you know exactly what they look like. So from each of you, I'm going to need... Oh, and I'll quickly... You weren't able to find any of that equipment you were hoping to find in the lab. Okay. It's just destroyed. From each of you, I'm going to need a control in science, or I'd say medicine could also work here.
Oh, you science.
We need a medical officer. I'd like to put a request into Starbase 234. Hey, you guys let us leave without a medical officer.
Oh, that was a lot. Whoa, okay. So, it's thankfully with Damari's recent incidents and Sarala's checking that berry out before with the waft test. Both of those you managed to find these items relatively quickly. And you have 2 of the 3 components now. You have the flower and this berry. The last one is kind of it's a low-lying plant. It's kind of a vine that grows through some of the areas at the base of trees. This one, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. As Dr. Ship said, it's usually covered in covered in thorns, I'm sorry.
If we're looking for it, where I had been cutting my way through the forest, would I be able to recognize, kind of have an idea what to look for?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would have definitely helped you find it. And you actually go back to the area, like that last bit of brush you cut through, and you do see that there's a strand of this kind of long vine that is covered in thorns on the ground. It's still connected to the tree on one end, but you can try to gather it however you want to.
Counselor, what do you know about these?
Unfortunately, not much. Most of your research was spent looking at most of the time you were here, you were looking at simulations of how the drug or whatever may actually simulations when it interacts with the brain.
Unfortunately, the majority of my research on this end was after it had been taken apart inside the lab.
Okay. Give me a hand with this, but watch your hands, it's very thorny.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is also going to be control and science. And Counselor Drell, you can give me 1 die assist roll.
How do I do that?
Just change the task roll from 2 to 1.
Okay, and then you said control and science and not medicine on this one?
It is science in this case.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. With the two of you working on this, you managed to quickly remove one of the pieces without making contact with any of these razor-sharp thorns and add it to the samples you've collected. And you begin rushing your way back towards the center. As you're just reaching as you just kind of bring it back into view, a giant crack of this blue ionic energy streaks down and hits the top of the science center, causing you just see sparks flying everywhere. You're unsure of what kind of damage that may have caused on the inside.
I will swear loudly and Trill.
All right. Captain, inside the science center, you feel this, it kind of feels like a numb feeling for a flash. But then, luckily it subsides, and the actual bolt of energy landed somewhere else in the center, far away from you and Dr. Ship. But the two of you think you have, after talking it through, you think you have two potential options here. By putting together what's left in the lab, you think you may be able to synthesize enough cures that you'll be able to administer through hypospray. That'll be difficult and also dangerous because you'll have to get in contact with each of the people left. But you think it may also be possible to jury-rig a device that would generate some sort of pulse that could potentially knock out everyone with the degeneration, but it will be extremely difficult to pull that one off.
Given our limited time frame, Dr. Ship, I think we're going to have to go with the former, but my ensign got that shuttle working, so we might be able to perform some aerial reconnaissance. Is there anything they seem to be responding to? They're reacting in a base manner. Food. Is there any food left here that we could cook up, generate the smell, maybe some industrial fans left over in the labs that we could blow the scent out and hopefully attract whoever we can before we need to evacuate?
Dr. Ship, she nods and says, yeah. Luckily, Counselor Drell and I we locked ourselves basically in the food storage room and we weren't able to get in. I think we could definitely do that.
All right, I'll cover you. Let's make it happen. Point me in the direction of the fans. I'll start getting them set up on the landing pad.
And as you're doing all this, you guys manage to roll the fans out. Just as you see, kind of over the edge of the treetops, you see the Type 8 shuttle come rolling back in at high speed.
I think he would shield his eyes from the ion storm behind it and just like...
And Sarala, you see them kind of setting up on the landing pad, so there's a flat enough grassy area right nearby that you're able to easily set the shuttle down on. Right as Nora and Counselor Drell kind of come up the hill, and you're all collectively back at the station. Tak is feverishly attempting to put the Waverider back together. But I think we're going to have to leave it on another cliffhanger right here.
All right. Woo!
Yeah.
That was a good one. I loved it.
Hell yeah, the first three-parter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Probably
Next
not the
time
last.
on Star Trek Avalon. All right, let's launch a raid to wrap this thing up, huh? You guys have fun?
I had a lot of fun. You guys all did awesome. And now we have the counselor with us, too.
Yep.
Yeah. Now we need a medical officer. Let's go around the table and let everyone introduce themselves and say where people can find you on the internet. You want to go first, Ms.?
I am Miss Misery, also known as Kayla. Usually I'm all around the internet. I'm in several games a week, so follow me to this side or this side, and I tweet about everything. I also had a very good time.
Sweet. Over to you, Mr. Sean. That way.
I am Tak Damari. For real. I've gone full method. I live this life. No, you guys will find me on Castle Mac. I'm Castle Mac Sean on Twitter, but probably if you guys are in our Discord, it's easier to reach me there. But yeah, playing Sundays and I DM on Tuesdays, so all the DMs.
And Sierra?
Oh, I'm at Sierra Trees on Twitter, or you can find me at Fair and Perilous. They're both handles I use. And you can find me here every other Friday.
And Raven?
Hi, I'm Raven at Castle Mac Raven. I am on cold medicine right now, and I'm sorry.
And Easy down below me?
I don't hear him.
You mute.
My bad. You can find me on the Twitters at Chancellor87, and I'm here every other Friday.
That's right. And we'll be back next Friday, or Friday after next, with the conclusion of this, and hopefully the start of the next one as well. You can find the previous episode on YouTube if you did not catch the pilot. It's solid. Sunday night, you can catch us at 7:30 Eastern Time with a special Call of Cthulhu one-shot set in a mall in Middle America the evening of December 31st, 1999. And it's going to be off the hook. Otherwise, we'll be back in a couple Sundays with the start of our Storm King's Thunder campaign, so we hope you guys will join us there. Thank you all for joining us. Let's launch a raid. I'm actually going to launch a fellow Richmonder and launch a raid on our buddy Cranio Dad. Easy, thank you, man. That was fun. Can't wait for the next one.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
Easy.
you.
I can't wait till we can go to every Friday when people's schedules are freer, because this is too much fun. All right, see y'all.
Bye.